I'm not gonna put his name out there, but you know who you are.
Yeah. God, I wish you would. I mean, his name's Andrew.
Sure.
God, what if I nailed it? Your eyes get big.
Yeah. We'll edit it. We'll just edit it to me going.
But did you guys kind of not tour as much once you had the kid?
It's funny because it just kind of happened that way. This past year, the booking agency I was with got bought by a bigger agency.
Oh yeah.
And
you were with
Red 11.
We had the same guy for a long
Jeff,
time.
yeah. And he killed it, dude, for 6-7 years. I mean, killed it for us, kept us busy. But the WME acquired Red 11, and then bigger fish tank. I'm a small fish going into that tank, so things just kind of slowed down a little bit. So, it wasn't anyone's fault or anything. It was just, it's just the nature of the beast. So we switched gears, and sorry about that.
What?
My watch was just going off.
Oh, I couldn't even hear it.
I have pretty exciting news. I started doing this podcast just for fun. We just wanted to talk to cool people. Still do, but apparently now we're getting offered some pretty wild sponsorship opportunities. So this episode of the Jarrod Morris Vibe is brought to you by Dupont. Together, we're transforming industries and improving everyday life. Their community of scientists, engineers, visionaries, and all of their partners are working every day to turn possibilities into real-world answers that help humanity thrive. Explore how Dupont is shaping a better world. You can, go to the link in the bio for your discount code on any of the Dupont products. That's DUPONT. Discount code JMDupont. It's a crazy world, but thanks, Dupont. Back to the podcast.
But we switched gears, and so things are picking back up touring wise. But yeah, it kind of got a little slow. I kind of, for good or for worse, my personal life this past year just kind of exploded with having the kid. We, got moved into a house up in Collinsville, so it was just it was a lot to take in this year. My wife really. Just working with having both of us working and having opposite schedules. I mean, me and my wife probably see each other 2 or 3 times a week.
It's crazy,
just
isn't
because she works, majorly 12 to 12 or 2 to 2 shifts at the ER, and then I'm, gone Thursday through Sunday pretty much.
You say 12 to 12. Is that all 2 to 2? Is that all during the day?
PM to AM.
PM to AM. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean,
dang though, that's still a gnarly schedule.
Yeah, but last night, I played a gig in DFW. We kind of get home at the same time because it's just so it works out. We've got family that can watch the kiddo, so it makes it super easy. It's convenient, but we're blessed to have that infrastructure.
What does she do?
She's an ER nurse.
Oh, an ER nurse.
Yeah.
She like it?
She loves it. She loves trauma and medical trauma.
Oops.
She likes medical trauma for sure. She'll just, I don't know. She'll come home and start telling me stories. I'm just I'm trying to eat right now. Thanks.
Do humans bug you more than animals? My wife's she can't deal with humans, but with animals.
Yeah, probably so. If I see a dog sneeze, I can still eat. If I see a human sneeze, I probably
I'm with you.
I'm probably gonna check out.
Okay,
the Four Christmases Vince Vaughn, where the baby throws up on Reese Witherspoon.
Get away from me!
I'm gonna do it too. You got to get out of here.
I love you, but you need to get away from me.
Dude, that's me to a T.
Yeah.
But the baby though, when my kid sneezes, I'm grabbing it. It's just it's such a different response. I don't know. It's so weird.
Well, yeah, it's your kid.
It's
But
I used to not understand that. I used to be what are you talking about? A booger's a booger. There's no way I'm gonna There's no way. But
and now you have
your instincts kick in.
Child's feces on your hands.
Yeah, 100%. Or in the bathtub, and now you got to clean it out because they decided to take a shit in the bathtub.
Oh no,
it happens. I think it's the warm water.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah, we have.
Well, at that age.
Or, yeah, sure. Well, yeah, speak for yourself.
This last year, I drank too much.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I can't do humans all that well. But
yeah, hats off to her. I can see that. I'm just stoked.
Dude, we went to Vegas last week, and on I think it was the flight there.
Oh, did you go to NFR?
Yeah.
Is that still going on? How long is that?
Tonight's the last night.
It's like a month-long rodeo?
No, it's 10 days.
Okay.
You've played out there, no?
No.
Really?
I've never done. I was just telling my guys last night, I was like, I'd love to go play NFR. I think it'd be great.
Dude, it's
it'd be fun.
best.
I don't know how much of a fan base we'd have at NFR, but I mean, I'm sure we'd have some people that
Yeah, for sure. You'd be surprised. Most of the rodeo people, a lot of them, yeah, they listen to country and stuff, but
yeah.
like the rodeo people, they're kind of all over. That's and that's what Chris Leduc tapped into. He was playing like,
dude. I was just thinking, like on my way here, I saw that you had like a bareback rider on your podcast.
Yeah.
Like if some of those rodeo guys like nowadays could write halfway decent songs,
crush.
Absolutely crush, dude.
Yeah.
If there was like some kid out there that could go ride a bull and then hop on stage and like I don't know, they'd probably kill it.
Yeah, because
I'm sure that's happened. I'm sure I'm just like don't know or not up to speed on someone that's doing that currently.
There's a few of them because I do think people are kind of yearning for authenticity.
Yeah.
So you know they could write really authentic stuff and like nobody could really argue with it.
Kind of like the Coulter Wall stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, guy works on a ranch and lives it.
Yeah.
He's the real Yellowstone.
Yeah, there's actually a few of those rodeo guys that we're planning on. So like that day after that podcast, that was his name's Leighton Berry, and he's like second.
I just love that you had to put number 3 world bareback rider.
Yeah,
I love that because there's so many people that just wouldn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's no like shade to anything like that, but it's just like that would interest a lot of people if they just saw that. Like, oh, what's the number 3 bareback rider have to say?
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, because it's such a niche community.
It very much. And like if you don't know anything about it, you're just not going to know anything about it.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But like us growing up in North Texas and just this whole like part of the country, that's so prevalent. It's so relevant to us growing up. I went to high school rodeos over in was it like Waxahachie or whatever it was growing up. We used to go to that all the time. So I mean,
yeah, you can't avoid it.
No, you can't.
Well, and like I grew up here.
Even going to a big 5A school, you can't avoid it.
No. I mean, you are in kind of one of the epicenters of a lot of it. And like I grew up here in Decatur, and so the guys I went to high school with were like literally world champion.
Yeah,
calf ropers. And
absolutely.
So yeah, you couldn't avoid it. And I didn't grow up rodeoing, but I was so closely around it. It's like an interesting way to be brought up. It also keeps you from. Like I just stay in my lane. Like I know what I do, but I'm not like trying to be anything outside of that. Because, yeah, I mean, if you grew up here, and like I'll be kind of maybe other places, parts of the country and stuff, and somebody will be, I'll be like, oh, cool, you're like into rodeo or whatever. And they're like, yeah, totally, man. I grew up rodeoing, and I'm like, oh, cool. What do you like? You rope or whatever?
Yeah, I lasso.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they're like, oh yeah, totally. And I'm like, you can't do that here. Because if you're like, oh yeah, I wrote pretty good, and they're like, all right, let's go tomorrow, and you're like, you're gonna like have to freaking
yeah. Here it's just like, all right, bring your horse.
Yeah, so it keeps you from. Anyways, I don't know how I got on that, but it makes everybody kind of a little bit more authentic. Like if you're not into that, that's okay. Like half the rodeo guys, if you met them on a daily, like if you're just out at lunch or something, like you probably wouldn't know what they do for a living.
Right.
Like they're not dudded up in their spurs.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not. Which the rodeo thing is a little different than like actually cowboying for a living. Like if you're.
I feel like it's kind of like a musician almost. Just like
definitely.
It's pretty much the same kind of lifestyle. A lot of waiting around for that short window of go time, and then it's a lot of waiting around again till the next night or till next week.
Kindred souls for sure.
Yeah.
So we were thinking about there's like 3. What I was gonna say is so after that episode with Leighton, we hung around, like had some beers and smoked a cigar, and he's super into music, and so we ended up. He was like, man, I can't leave without you playing something. And I was like, well, I'm not going to sit here with just 2 of us and play you a song.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't we write something? And he was like, for real? And so we just sat here and picked around and like started working on something. And
nice.
I just kind of like, it was fun because, and he had like some like really cool like ideas and concepts because he just lives a cool
perspective
life.
that, we wouldn't even think about.
Yeah. And then I'm able to kind of draw some stuff out of that. And he's like, well, damn, that's pretty good, dude. So anyways, I want to get some like big time rodeo cowboys and do like an EP with them.
That'd be
where
cool.
we just write the songs together.
That'd be cool.
I think that'd be pretty dope. And I could do like featuring, so and so.
Oh, because I mean, they already have fans because there's so many fans in the rodeo world. That I mean, that'd be cool. I'm sure they would also love to hear that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Where do you record at? Like when you want to go do something, where do you go?
I got there's a guy that works with me now, like solely with me. Like I hired him, I guess, a couple years ago. His name's Wyatt Langford.
Cool.
He's from Oklahoma. He's my drummer too. But he's got a studio. Like I invested in a studio with him.
In Oklahoma?
Yeah, and then he just moved to Austin, so we moved it down there. So I basically go to Austin, and it's like we can track some drums, but it's mainly to do like a lot of overdubs and a lot of like pre-production and all that type of stuff. But like musically, my stuff, it's a lot of just me sitting in a room and tinkering, And then we can go track with a full band. But he's just like solely devoted to recording my stuff, mixing, and I've been on that journey for like a couple years, just trying to find unique sounds. And,
that's awesome.
It just takes a lot of time and you can go in and cut a bunch of songs pretty quick, but you always just feel like, did we really get, like, we didn't have that much time to really like tinker with these sounds.
That's always been like a big thing for me. It's just like, you can go record a song in a day, and then I always have the thought of like, okay, did we spend enough time on that? Did we really? Does everything? I mean, I'm not one that's going to be like, are the drums perfect? But like, is the arrangement correct? I mean, there's a lot of, but sometimes you just, the more you think about it, the worse it can get. Sometimes you just got to put it out.
I agree with that to a certain extent. Like with the actual song, I don't know. It's like it's all just in stages. Like they're all kind of almost separate components. You could have a super dope song that you wrote in 10 minutes. You didn't overthink it. Mm-hmm. And then you go in and cut it. And you tried not to overthink the production and like the arrangement of it from like a recording standpoint.
Yeah.
And then it's like it doesn't come out unique enough. Like you should have spent more time. Like I don't know, it's tough. Like some things you should think about. Like we had talked about earlier, like going to Nashville and going to some of these writing sessions. And I was mulling over like a lyric that we just couldn't get right. And the guy was like, man, don't overthink it. And I go, I'm thinking. Like it's better than not thinking.
Yeah.
Like just because I'm thinking about it doesn't mean I'm overthinking it.
Correct. Yeah.
And some people get paralysis by analysis and they think about it too much. Sure.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
But there's some songs I'm about to put out that we cut 2 years ago. And then we just now redid the drums on it because I just listened back to it and I'm like, there's just something not right. Like this thing just doesn't groove. Mm-hmm. And so we just redid the drums and now I'm like, oh yeah. But if I hadn't stepped away from it for like a year and a half, I just wouldn't have that objectivity, I guess.
That separation from it and then listening to,
because you get excited.
Yes. Yeah, and because when you first do something, it's badass, it's great, it's the coolest thing you've ever made, and then when you go back, even if it's a couple days later, a couple weeks later, or it could be a year or two later, and then it's just like, oh, there is something, there's an ingredient here that is missing, and I feel like we could go back in the kitchen and tweak it a bit.
100%.
That's cool.
And I don't think that's overthinking. You can, but that's why it's kind of fun. Every single song and recording is just like a little puzzle.
Yeah.
Starting from just writing it to recording it, every element of it's a puzzle.
Absolutely. I've been in such a like a god damn my watch, dude. This is gonna piss me off.
How does it what does it do?
Is
it like an Apple Watch?
Yeah, it's my damn.
I'm not that hip.
It's my camera's going off.
Camera? Yeah. What does that mean?
Like my game cameras.
You don't have to. I don't even think you can hear it. Oh, your game cameras are going off on your.
Yeah.
I can't even hear it.
Just I can't.
Well, don't stick it up underneath there.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is it gonna vibrate?
Yeah, we might have to. We might have a cleanup. Thank you, Steve.
You were about to say something about like maybe music that you're making or something.
Yeah. So like I've been in such a mode lately where like I'll write a verse and then paralysis. I don't know what to go for. I don't know where to go from there. And it's sometimes I feel like, what am I doing? I can't move past these 3 lines. I'm stuck after 3 lines,
So do you typically start like on a verse?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably so. I mean, first thing for me is music. I have to have a chord structure, and I've been real bad lately about I'll come up with just I'll write a song to 2 chords, and the verse will just be lighter, and the chorus will be heavier. And I've been such a I feel like it puts me in such a box sometimes that I've written a couple of cool songs that are just 2 chords, but God, I feel like every time I pick up a guitar, I'm just 2 chords.
You're doing that.
Yeah, and I'm just like, why can't I get away from this? Why can't I go on? Because I'll start coming up with these melodies, and then I'm just like, oh wait, I'm here at 2 chords again. Let me see if I can add a 3rd chord. Well, that doesn't go with any melodies that I'm already tied to a little bit. Yeah, songwriting is such a puzzle because you can start coming up with something cool and then get in your head about something like, why do I only have 2 chords? And then you're sitting there, stuck. You're just like, well, do I add a 3rd chord? Do I just keep going? And lately, I've just been like, I just need to just keep going. Just whatever song I'm writing, just write that song, and then, I feel like writing songs has been such a. I feel like it was easier when I was younger.
Why?
I don't know. Probably like the imagination or something. I don't know. It's sometimes like writing songs can be stressful just because of like the weight of it all.
Yeah. Do you think it has something to do with already having some success? Is there something creeping in of like, this has got to be?
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, our first album, Green, did super well for us, and like people love it. I mean, every show, or I'll get a message like every week, like, do more Green stuff. But we have people that love like our alternative rock stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because like one of the top streamed songs isn't it the "It's a Million Miles"?
Million
Between
Miles,
Yeah.
which is it's the heavier song on Green on that album. So I was like, okay,
But it still has that alt country.
yes,
thing
very
for
much
sure.
so. But it was heavier, so I was like, maybe we should kind of lead into like some heavier stuff because
Yeah.
people really liked that.
Yeah.
And people love like our newer stuff, but there is a fan base that is tied to that Green album for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, but every artist has a fan base tied to an album. I mean, that's just the way it goes. I mean, I'm tied to some artists' first albums.
It's one of
Coldplay being like Parachutes by Coldplay,
Totally.
one of my favorite albums.
totally.
Absolute top 5 albums for me.
Yeah.
And like it's just I love Coldplay, but it's just like, that album does it for me for sure.
Yeah, it's
just
a weird phenomena where when somebody discovers you, like the first stuff that you made, like it's because they discovered you with that. Like your 2nd or 3rd album could maybe technically be better or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, even if they're different, it's like, well, it's not as good as his first one. But if your 2nd and 3rd stuff that you put out sounds just the same as the first, people will be
get
like,
stale.
yeah, they're like, oh, well, he just does the same. He just sounds all the same.
Yeah.
But if you do something different, it's like, oh, well, he changed. It's like an impossible. It's an impossible thing to serve. That's why you just got to do what you like,
Absolutely.
and then what you enjoy, and then lean into that. At least that's what I try to tell myself.
Me and my guitar player have been writing a lot of songs recently, and a lot of them have been more acoustic driven rather than slamming guitars like the past 2 records have been. So I just think it what I love about like this Texas scene is like you just have so much freedom down here. You're not tied to like someone telling you like, hey, we need to start cutting these. I do love the structure, and I'm starting to have more structure of like releasing music because like you can easily not release music for 2 years like I have, and then look up and go like, oh shit, I need to put something out.
Oh, yeah.
So like that's nice having that, guys that have like record labels and stuff like that, because they have a schedule. Like, we're gonna be putting music out here. Here's our plan. Here's when you're gonna go write and all that kind of stuff. So being independent has been it's been cool because we've been able to do whatever we want, but we kind of lack that schedule.
Yeah.
Of like so I've got last June we went and did some songs, hoping to get back in and finish up some other ones.
Where are you doing that stuff at?
So I record with a friend of mine, Taylor Kimball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He
Kids, did you do that after Green or was that
after Green.
Okay.
I did Green with Ben Hussey and Josh Serrato over at Melody Mountain.
Yep. That's where I did my stuff. Yeah.
And dude, I loved working with it. That was so much fun.
Dude, Josh is a freak.
Josh is the shit.
Yeah, because he plays with Co now. Played with Will Green for a long time. He's a.
Josh has been, original Six Market Boulevard lead guitarist. I mean, he's a legend, dude. He's an absolute legend. So doing that record with them was, I mean, that was absolutely insane. It was so cool, especially for a young kid. I mean, I was like 18 or 19 at the time, maybe 20. I don't know. I forget now.
That's so insane that you were that good too. And it's the same as some of these guys I see now that are 18 or 19. I'm like, gosh,
I know.
Dude, I just was not. I was so bad. I was just trying to figure out how to sing. I was so bad. I was really unique and creative from like a musical standpoint, but it was bad. And they're just y'all are just you were good. Like they're all just so good. I'm like, how did you get that good? And you're like 18. It's crazy. I'm happy for it. Like it's wild. I think it might be a product more of the internet though. I think we can like learn quicker, maybe. I mean, but like when I started playing guitar and stuff, like I mean, I started playing guitar when I was like 9. I started taking lessons, and then I didn't really like start playing. And I didn't start playing guitar and like singing until like I was in high school, and that was just because I was just covering Randy Rogers songs, or Casey Donahue songs, because that was the cool thing. We'd all sit around at a house party or something and play music. Mm-hmm.
That was just the thing to do back then. So I kind of got started doing that, and then Texas country was I feel like that was so predominant in everyone's high school age, because I was just we'd all go to Lone Star Park, or we'd all try to sneak into Billy Bob's or Rock and Rodeo in Denton when I was still there.
Was a neon a thing? Neon Moon
in Fort Worth?
Yeah, in the stockyards.
I didn't really go to the stockyards a whole lot.
Oh, okay,
but
well, yeah, Rock and Rodeo was in Denton, huh?
Yeah. But there was just, that was just, so I didn't really start playing like music and singing until like high school. And then I started playing gigs at like Fuzzy's Tacos and any coffee shop that would hire me. That like, dude, I was just thinking today, the first time I met you, do you remember when we met for the first time?
I don't think so.
It was at a wedding. We both, dude, you had a Bose Tower speaker. And
wait, did we both play?
So I was so confused when I walked in. I couldn't even tell you.
Oh, yeah, that was the first time we met?
Yeah.
Because those were like friends of mine or something.
I couldn't even tell you whose wedding it was.
Yeah.
I'm just that bad. Like I was just
right.
I forget. But I walk in, you're already set up.
Yeah.
And you're playing the guitar, you're sitting on a stool, and you got your Bose Tower speaker behind you. They have also hired me.
Dude, this is like 6 years ago? 5 years ago?
Probably longer than that. No, this is definitely longer than that. Because I didn't even have like a band yet. This was probably like 18.
Yeah, but you were already like.
No.
You didn't have any music out?
Maybe the EP the 6-song EP.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I definitely like, this was way early. And I walk in, I also have a Bose Tower speaker and a guitar. I walk in and I see you in the corner set up with your Bose. I'm like,
oh no.
Did they hire someone else? Am I supposed to be here?
What a
I was so confused because you were set up. You had the exact same shit that I had, and I was just like, maybe they hired someone else that had all the same shit.
Oh,
They
no.
didn't tell me. And I go sit down, or I walk up and I was like, hey man, I get like, I don't even know like what we did. I think we song swapped, or I played like for 20 minutes and then you played for 20 minutes. But I was so thrown off.
I think he just played after me. Because I'm pretty sure it was a buddy of mine, and because he just came up to me, he was like, "Hey," he was like, "You play, and then Kody's gonna play after you." I remember him saying, he was like, "Yeah, he's gonna play after you. He's way better than you." But he's like my buddy. He was giving me a hard time.
Dude, I don't even remember where the wedding was, whose it was, but I remember walking in and just like I was just like, Maybe they hired someone else and they didn't tell me.
It's kind of traumatizing.
It was, dude. I was so.
And not to mention, you're already just setting up your Bose speaker in the corner of a wedding reception and having to do that that thing, and
Dude,
so it's already kind of.
I played this private gig probably like a year and a half or 2 years ago down in Houston, and I took my Bose speaker down there, and it was like for this corporate
How
event.
long ago was this?
Probably a year and a half ago.
Okay.
Oh well, it was one of the last ice storms because I drove to Houston like while DFW was frozen.
Whoa.
And I don't know. I just remember it being super icy. But I drove down to Houston and I played this gig. It was probably like I was background music to the max, dude. You show up, you're just expecting like, okay, I'm just I'm gonna be like it's acoustic. People are probably just gonna sit there and listen to me, bro. This was so humbling, bro. I sat there. I played Shine Out like 3 times.
Did you do it just to see if they were paying attention?
Probably. I was just so after like the first 15 minutes, I was like, okay, I got another 75 minutes here. This is like 90 minutes, and I was just like, oh. Dude, these people don't give a single fuck that I'm here.
Dude,
Can I cuss? I'm sorry.
You're fine. What's really interesting is was it kind of a favor or did you get paid good?
No, it was decent pay. And that's what also made me think like, okay, people are like, this is like, maybe they're expecting music.
Yeah.
I was no more than just a guy playing piano over, like in a hotel or something.
Yeah. Some people might take that as I've been there.
Oh yeah,
times.
It was just.
And whenever I say
funny.
it, some people take it as like it's like, whoa. They think I'm like being pretentious or something. But I guess it does get to a point where you have enough going on and you play shows where people are super into it and you sell a lot of tickets and you're doing the thing with your own music. And then it's just jarring. You go into these situations where people are just like, so what's your deal? Like just go over there and play. And then, do you know any Toby Keith? And you're just like,
as a matter of fact.
Actually, I would jam it. But it's just like, oh yeah, well we like this, so if you can just play that, and you're just like, wait, hold. But it's weird because you don't want to be like pretentious.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if you don't like, it's like, hey, no, like I don't do that. I've already done that for years.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
The backyard barbecue
nice
for the birthday party.
Yes. Like I did a lot of those.
Yeah, you're telling me. I still do.
Honestly, I might need to pick up a couple extra here before Christmas.
Well, you had
if anyone's listening, if this is released before Christmas time, give me a holler.
You're having a barbecue. I'm down to do it. I did a wedding a while back, and it was a favor. The reason I was asking about if they paid you good is what I've found is when it's kind of the favor gig and you don't charge them really anything, those are the ones where I show up and they're like, just set up in the corner over there, and it's like, okay.
Or those are the ones where people expect the most from you.
Exactly.
Because,
Oh, you're done playing?
Yeah.
What?
What do you mean? This has been an hour and a half.
Yeah. And you're like, I was doing you a favor. But then the ones, it's like, I mean, you play private events where they pay you really well. And, I mean, it's the whole thing and production. And
yeah.
They spend a lot of money on it. And they treat you like freaking, you're a king.
Yeah.
Which I don't expect that, but it's just like a level of decency and respect. It's just very counterintuitive. It's like, wait, I charged you a lot, and then now but I guess they value it more, maybe.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, for corporate stuff, I mean, they have a set budget. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a lot of that is just like, okay, we have this much. Who can we get for that much? And then, cool.
I had Mike Ryan on here a little while back. We're going to put that episode
I love
out
Mike.
Soon. He's cool, man. I'd never really gotten to like actually sit down and talk with him. It's always been in the
passing.
Whatever. Yeah, and it's like, dude, it's weird. I've really got, when I first started, I used to be a little bit more judgmental when I would meet people in passing, like whatever, at a festival or something. Cause I'm like real like, hey man, what's up? I'm like a Labrador or whatever, or a golden retriever. And if they're not like that, I'm like, what was his deal?
Yeah.
But some people are just like, they're just quiet or shy, or they're a little awkward or something, or I don't know. And, or they're just doing their thing, and they're kind of in a different element sometimes with that. And so I've had to get better at like, not like prejudging somebody because of that interaction.
Yeah.
And so, he's one that I've only like met like in passing or anything. And then, but I've never like gotten to just sit down and talk to him. And he's just like chill as a cucumber, like down home, genuine, honest kind of guy.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah, we went hunting last season, not this season, but last season. He's a great hang, man.
Why did I bring that up? I was about to tell you something. Yeah.
Mike Ryan.
Because when we were talking, he was talking about going to. It was a show that he played that was sold out. It was just great. It was awesome. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Billy Bob's. It wasn't sold out, but they sold like a lot of tickets. It might have been sold out or something, but he had a huge show.
Yeah.
And it was just like such a massive bucket list for him, and he was just flying high. Mm-hmm. And then he said they went out the next night, went out to East Texas and played some gig, and there was like 15 people.
My first time at Billy Bob's was that exact same experience, dude.
Where'd y'all play the next night?
I couldn't even tell you,
but it was bad.
Oh my god, it was the worst, dude.
What,
it was
is that like the
worst.
Billy Bob's curse?
I don't know, but since then I don't play a show after Billy Bob's. I just ride. I just ride high on that mountain for that week, and then whatever's next weekend, then we'll deal with it. But if we play Billy Bob's on a Friday, I'm not playing a show Saturday.
Holy cow!
I'm going home. I'm gonna live on that mountain for at least one more day, dude.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah,
because what a nightmare. Oh, you just look at, but at the same time, it gives you a level of confidence. If you're just getting crushed every night and you're not selling any tickets, that's far more difficult than at least the night before. Because you can look out to an empty audience and be like, something's odd here. I just crushed last night. Yeah. So, you can have a little bit more confidence at least.
Yeah. No, Billy Bob's is fun, but it definitely has that. I'm glad I'm not the only band that's experienced that of having a great night and then going to fucking, oh, shit.
Well, it made me feel good because, I guess we're all kind of lone wolves to a certain degree. So we suffer on our own, but we succeed on our own.
Yeah.
But then everybody's kind of going through the same thing.
For sure.
And at the end of the day, well, look at what we do. It's absurd.
It's the greatest job ever.
To complain about any of it is.
But I mean, it's like that with a lot of cush jobs. But I mean, there are things that there are standards. I mean, when venues don't have a bathroom for the band to go. If I got to walk through the whole building to the other side to go take a shit, I can complain about that. It's just there's some things that are just like, I don't know. I wish there was like a committee of people that when people go to open a music venue, they go to this committee first. Yeah. And then they make sure you have all your boxes checked.
I think it's maybe gotten better.
Like Blue Light in Lubbock, they have a green room now.
Yeah.
It's
game changer,
dude. It is. I mean, Lubbock's great. I love Blue Light. I've played there since 2017.
Well, it just goes to show you how awesome of a place that is and how awesome the people are.
Yeah,
because like
Six is the man, dude.
Yeah, because it's not like the facility. They didn't have a green room. It was like there's nowhere to go to the bathroom. You just parked right out front.
I mean, you could go to Narnia.
There was a little part of it that was kind of. I don't know, had a little mystique where it's like you have to walk through the crowd and get on the front of the stage. Mm-hmm. Getting off that stage was the most difficult.
Yeah.
It's like you just immediately are just hanging with everybody.
Yeah, you're just in the crowd. But I mean, that's what's cool though. I mean, there's playing in Texas and being a band starting in Texas, you get so much hands-on experience.
Yeah.
Because you can go play Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Lubbock, Amarillo, Beaumont, College Station, Waco. You can go play so many markets and get so much experience on stage. Me and Colby were talking about this. Like, there are so many guys that I feel like start out on TikTok or social media, and the next thing you know is they're playing arenas. It's just like, dude.
Well, and I see
that's when they get off. Like, how do they recover when they get off on a song because they just don't have the experience,
bro?
Like when I forget lyrics, like at least I have like a little bit of like a base of like, I don't know, sometimes I can get but if you don't have that experience, you can crash and burn hard,
bro. And like there's so many intangibles. Like how do you? Oh my gosh! Like if you've never used in-ears before, how do you even talk to the monitor like engineer about like what you want in your ears? Like how do you lead a band? How do you talk to your drummer about? No, I want you to do this differently. Like how do you look at a deal sheet at the end of the night and know you didn't get ripped off? How do you sell merch? How do you keep your merch guy motivated? Like how do you do t-shirt design? There's so much stuff that are intangibles. I really don't envy the exploding over one song like overnight kind of thing. No. Without like putting in some of that work. It's not that I'm bitter because they didn't put in work. It's that I think the work is valuable. Like the perseverance and the learning. Like you get better in certain areas, and the only way you can get that is just through like a war of attrition. Like just doing it.
Yeah.
What does your voice sound like after you
played 3 shows in a row, and what's it gonna sound like on that 4th show?
And then that 3rd show, you guys had to drive 8 hours through the night, and then your whole band slept, and your one guy who said it was gonna drive didn't drive. He got like drunk or something and couldn't drive, so you had to drive through the night.
Yeah.
You got no sleep, and then you have to sound check that next morning. And then what does your voice sound like then? And then how do you handle it? And then how do you also not get pissed at everybody? Then how do you hang out after and smile and take pictures and enjoy your good time? Like,
it's a lot of dynamic for sure.
But here, you have the opportunity to go do all that.
Yes.
And people support it. Like, it's huge, man. So even maybe, there's places you go play that are, dump, hole in the wall kind of places, and they don't treat you all that great. But, like, they're opening their doors to you.
Yeah.
And they're letting you come in there and do your thing and play original music.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot of people get to play original music every night. A lot. I mean,
nowhere else in the country.
Yeah, for sure. No, dude, I say that all the time. Like, if we were from Wisconsin or from New Jersey or from Maine or from even like Mississippi, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like it's harder when you're not in Texas to get going and play shows. I don't know. There's just so much infrastructure down here. It's a great launching pad for sure.
Yeah. Well, and like you and I's music, like there's some similarities, but like we don't make the same type of music really, but yet we have a lot of the same fans.
And we get put
ultimately,
and we get put in the Texas country. I mean, just because we're from down here.
But it shows you how open they are to like a lot of that different stuff.
Right.
Like people are down to hear
Dude,
a lot.
The
of
Texas fans are they really are. They're so open to a lot of things, and sure there are some people wow, this doesn't sound like Stoney LaRue or whatever. But I mean, they are very open minded for sure when it comes to music, because there's from Parker to Coe to Colby Cooper to Dylan to Reed Southall to Jack Ingram. There's the landscape is huge. There's so many people covering so many different parts of it. I
do think that vibe kind of, the infrastructure might not be there that we're talking about, but like people's like personalities kind of that personality kind of exists all through in my experience, all through up kind of the West, like into Wyoming and Montana and up into like Alberta even.
Yeah.
Like they're down to hear a lot of stuff. But I think that's starting to change at large because of the internet, and you can get exposed to so many different types of music.
For sure. Like the kid I was showing you, before we started, there's so many good songwriters on Instagram.
Yeah, and he's got like a kind of, like emo-y punk kind of thing to the way he does melodies and stuff.
Yeah.
But yet, and that's the way some of your stuff is too. But then you're in like the sort of this quasi-country genre as well, which I think is freaking super, super cool.
Yeah.
The genre thing is a little bit weird. Like you have to have it to a certain degree. And like if somebody says like I play traditional country music, I have a sound in my head. And if it's not that, I'm like, oh well, it's not even, I could like it. But if you're just calling it that, I'm like, well, it's not that. I like it, but it's just not that.
Right.
I don't know. So, or like recording music in the studio. If you're telling a drummer, like I'm looking for this, whatever, swung little hi-hat, Dwight Yoakam thing.
Yeah.
And then he just starts playing like this, whatever, like a rock
reggae beat.
You're like, well, yeah. You're like, well, that's not that.
Yeah. It's not what I asked for.
I like that, but so it's important, but at the same time, like creativity is just, I think a lot of people would be surprised the influences that made some of their favorite songs that they think are like, man, this is tried and true country music.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. And it's like if they were in the studio when they were making that music, they'd probably be surprised
at the influences that the producer was bringing up, or that the lead singer was actually like, well, I used to listen to like Otis Redding, and I liked the way that this sounded like on those. They'd
be shocked.
The public would be surprised at if they saw how the sausage was made on any level, whether it was Ariana Grande or it's Zach Top, or if it's anyone, they would be so shocked at how music is made.
I just had one 2 days ago I was working on. One of my favorite songs of all. I love Christmas music. So
okay,
all right. So my favorite Christmas song of all time is the chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and the chord progression of that thing is insane.
Who wrote that?
Dude? It's insane. But Nat King Cole sang it, which is also one of my favorite voices of all time. But just the chord array, I just sit there and play it, and I'm fascinated. Like, it changes keys like 3 times. You never know, though. The melody just flows, but the chords are all over, and they're super jazzy. But it doesn't sound like pretentious. It just flows.
But it
it's
is.
Just it's super pretentious.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating. So anyways, I'm just sitting there playing that because I've just always been fascinated with that song. And I was like, all right, well, what if I just I just start singing my own thing over it, right? And then and then I move on to another thing. Anyways, like, the thing I ended up kind of quasi writing, like, sounded, dude, like it's maybe the polar opposite of that song. Sounded
Really?
Nothing like it at all. Like, I ended up in like a different key, and just, it was a different groove and different chords. But the way that I got there was the freaking Christmas song by Nat King Cole. You know, and nobody would ever know that. There's no way you could ever hear that. But that's kind of how creativity works.
Well, dude, my drummer, we were just talking last night. He was like, sometimes when I write stuff, like, he was just like, I'll just put on movies and just listen and just have like the score in the background.
Ooh, that's
just like the score of a movie. Like, there's a lot of, like, you know, if you're not watching a movie and you're just listening to the score, you can pick up on a lot of ideas of, like, you know, composition and stuff. So
who'd you say did that?
my drummer.
Your drummer.
Yeah, Tyler.
Huh. That's a slick one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go watch Lord of the Rings when I go home.
No kidding.
Or listen to it.
Yeah. That's
But-
a really interesting one. Yeah, a prime example of what we were talking about with, like, these weird influences. You know the song Run by George Strait? Baby run, cut a path across the blue sky. If there's a plane or a truck leaving Dallas.
I'm sure if I heard it, I'm not gonna sit here and act like, oh yeah, I know every George Strait song ever. But
dude, hey,
I'm sure
is my
if
phone in here? Anybody got my phone? But you've heard of the Police? with
Yes.
Sting, dude. It's this.
Is it one of their songs?
Bro? This is
Like when Johnny Cash
wild.
does "Hurt" by Nine Inch Nails, like, it's just totally different.
So, well, that was technically a cover song, right? Wasn't it? Yeah, it did sound totally different, though.
Yeah. Well, sorry, did George do a Police song?
No. This is his song "Run," but if you know the Police, so anyways, you have to know this song. This is a jam. This is George Strait.
Okay.
This is one of my favorite George Strait songs.
Okay.
It goes hard, dude. So, but that vamp at the beginning, that little bass line, it's just like a vamp over the one. So anyways, listen to this freaking, there's a song called Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic by the Police.
Okay.
This is so fun. I love that we're doing this. Isn't that wild?
That is wild.
Rain or a bus leaving Dallas.
But if you showed a real George Strait person
That's country.
Yeah.
Dude, this song came out. Hey, Steve, you know when Every Little Thing She Does Is Magic came out? 70s? 80s? And then George's came out in like the 2000s or something.
Yeah.
So, I love that song by George Strait. Love it. It's one of my favorite George songs.
But you'd never know that there were techniques used on a 80s or 70s, you know.
And the guy that wrote that song, I want to say he's actually written, I don't know if that's that Nestler guy. He also wrote like Just to See You Smile by Tim McGraw. Or
Just to see you smile.
it might be the same guy, but it might be a different guy. Anyways, he's written some stuff. I think he's written some stuff for Parker too. But I would not surprise me if he's a big like Sting fan or something.
Yeah.
Or the producer that was in there was like, ooh, or one of the musicians, like, you don't know, the freaking pedal steel guy could be like, oh, what if we started it with like a vamp? Kind of like Everything Little Thing She Does Is Magic. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But then you get some dude that's just like, if it ain't George Strait, you know, it ain't country.
If it ain't Merle Haggard.
Yeah. And you're like, well, I love that stuff. But
Yeah.
you guys don't even,
I'm sure those guys, like, were fans of of other things too. I'm sure Merle Haggard didn't listen to Merle Haggard all the time. I'm sure, you know what I mean?
Hank did though.
Hank Jr.?
Or Hank probably listened to Hank.
Yeah.
Or so I've heard.
Dude, what happened to Hank the Third?
I just listened to the
Does he have new music?
In the Mississippi Mud.
Yeah, dude. We used to listen to his stuff in high school all the time.
I don't know what happened to him. That's actually interesting you bring him up. I was just jamming him the other day.
Yeah, there was a lot of songs that by Hank the Third that like live in my brain rent free.
Yeah,
as the kids say.
Yeah,
that I don't know why, but yeah,
I don't know what happened to him.
Hank the Third, he's badass. Honestly, he just kind of seemed like a bit of a drug addict, but I mean,
maybe a little,
maybe a
maybe a lot.
Maybe, I mean, who's to say? But yeah, dude, he's got a cool thing. Or had I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird.
Random
it was
thought.
like this,
Hank the Third.
This, I don't know, man. It was like a rockabilly.
Very much a rockabilly for sure. And like his bass player played a stand-up bass. So like that was cool.
Yeah. They kind of reminded me a little bit of Dirty River Boys.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, dude, I was just thinking, yeah. Those guys.
Where did they were so cool.
They were the coolest, but they lived in El Paso. So, or at least I could be totally wrong, but I think they lived in El Paso. So anytime they played a show, they had to drive halfway across the country.
Yeah.
I mean,
that bass player was a wild man, though.
He was the
Wouldn't
shit.
he like jump off stuff? Or
he was the
upright
shit.
bass?
I saw them, I think, at Dan Silverleaf in Denton one time.
I bet that was cool.
Yeah, that was a bomb show. they are just a bluegrass rockabilly band, and that's what, like, I love watching videos. It seems like my my algorithm is just like Billy Strings concerts.
Oh,
because Billy Strings live is great, dude. I've never seen him live, but the YouTube videos do it justice, at least. Billy Strings is awesome.
Yeah, it's like Grateful Dead meets bluegrass.
Yes, very much so. He's like a gear nerd, and I nerd out on like watching like those rig rundowns and stuff like that.
Oh, you're a guitar rig guy.
Oh yeah,
Really?
I'm building a new pedal board, or about to have one built here in the next couple of weeks or so while we got some downtime.
I probably need to come jam with you because that is my weakness. I don't have the attention span for it, and I'm not like a techie kind of person. Like I just gear. I don't. No matter whether I'm golfing or whatever it is I'm doing, I just don't care about. I just want to go do the thing.
Yeah,
but it's
I'm like that with some things, like, but like when it comes to like music gear, like I am an absolute nerd. Like when I was first coming, like starting to, we'd go open for Randy Rogers or William Clark Green or whatever. I am staring at their stage. Like, how do they have it set up? Why are the cables run on the outside? Oh, so no one trips over them, so that it looks clean. Like having a clean stage was like, I never even thought about that until I started like playing music. And so like I'm pretty anal about like what's our stage look like when we're playing. Like I just like all the cables going around the perimeter. I like knowing where everything's patched in. Now we have a front of house guy now, so I mean a lot of our stuff, some of it I don't really know a whole lot about, but I just, I'm a big, where's the snake for each guy? Where's, I don't know. I could be a stage manager for a band if I had to be.
Yeah.
I get off on that. I mean, I was a tour manager for a little while before I started playing music.
Yeah. Who did you do that with?
Dalton Domino.
That's right.
My buddy Dalton.
Yeah.
Dalton, I love him to death. He's a great songwriter too. Mm-hmm. Dalton can write some great songs. I met Dalton, I think like Whiskey Girl in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
You remember Whiskey Girl?
Yeah.
I think
Is it Rhinestones now?
Yeah, it's right. We just did like a charity event there a couple weekends ago. Rhinestone Saloon now. But yeah, dude, I was teaming for Dalton, so like I learned a lot from that of just like, how to logistically move around the state as a band. That was, so I had a lot of experience, just from doing that. So that helped out tremendously when I started doing my own stuff.
Yeah, talk about another example of things that just don't get considered when you sign an artist that's never been on the road before.
Yeah.
Yeah, like booking hotel rooms and like.
Yeah, dude, booking hotel rooms. That's something I wish, yeah, I'll
It's
never.
a beating every time I go in there to get
Dude.
a beating.
And like when you want someone else to go check in, it's just like no matter what, because my name's on the card, I have to be the one, or they got to take my ID, or yada yada yada. Especially like we're not on a tour bus, but we have ever rented a bus and gone on a couple of runs with him when it's made sense. Dude, at 7:00 in the morning, you park at a venue. The bus driver goes to the hotel. But calls you at 7:30 when he gets there. I can't check in. It's under your name. It's just like, oh my God, how do people do this?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a step that I'm missing here. Why do I have to be the one to go check into the hotel room?
Or just because you have so many people on the road, it's like,
Well, I mean, we don't really have them. I run pretty lean.
yeah,
I
well,
run.
Sure.
We have 4 guys on stage, front of house and merch. So
Yeah,
there's
but
6 of us.
when you go and you think you booked like Queen hotel rooms, and then there's like one of them is a king.
Yeah.
And then the hotel's
So now you're
booked.
snuggling with your bass player.
Yeah, and then the hotel's booked out, and then it's like you got to go to the other.
Because there's some event in town that you had no idea.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah. That's the other thing is prices.
Yeah.
It's dope to go play the big event in town, and then you look at hotel prices. You go, oh,
$270 for a night?
Yeah, yeah.
In fucking College
at
Station?
the Motel 6. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I see what happened here. I got paid more to play this gig, and now I just spent it on hotel rooms.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, honestly, if it's a Saturday night and we're playing in Texas and it's within 8 hours,
Drive back.
I'm coming home.
Yeah.
I love driving at night. I could be a tour bus driver. I love it. It's so much fun. I say it's so much fun. I mean, just driving at night, like it's just something I've just had to do, like in this career, you know. And
Do you write a lot? Just like get creative and
when I have like musical demos, like I'll sit there and think in my head over and over. Like I've written a couple of songs while driving, or just at least finish songs while driving. Like I'll have a melody in my head, and I'll just be thinking like, oh, what's the words here? And so that helps. I like windshield time for that for sure.
yeah, you just do the little puzzle. Isn't it crazy how sometimes it'll be a long drive?
Yeah.
And then you just get in that little puzzle, and I mean 4 or 5 hours will
Go by. Yeah.
You're like, holy
Before you
cow.
know it, you're in Amarillo.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you like, yeah, your mind is like just freaking. You don't even realize how much energy you're even burning too. Then you get done, you like get in a bed or something. You're like, holy cow, I'm exhausted.
Yes.
And you were just like firing. For
Yeah.
5
Dude,
hours.
that happened to me last night. I got home from our show, and baby was asleep on the monitor. So my sister-in-law watched the kiddo yesterday. So she left, and I'm just sitting on my computer. I'm just like till like 2:30 last night, and then my wife got home. Then we had like a in the middle of the night snack because we're both hungry because she just got off work from a 12-hour shift and she didn't eat. And I was like, well, the last thing I ate was at Chick-fil-A at 4:00 before our sound check. So, let's eat. So we'll hang out at in the middle of the night some nights. But what were we talking about? How did I get here?
I don't know, just being so exhausted. You don't even
Yeah.
know
Oh
you're that
yeah. So
exhausted.
so last night I'm just on my computer, and then she gets home, and then we eat something, and then 3:30 last night I just crashed, and then it's just it happens so fast. Dude, I was literally on my way here today. I was like, dude, now that I'm 29, I now have real headaches. I used to have headaches that I thought were headaches when I was like in high school and like in my early 20s. I now have real headaches, and like I don't know, it's just weird the things you notice as you get older.
Oh,
I think you become more in tune with your body, for sure, because like I notice Advil works on me more than it did when I was 17.
Oh, dude, I
You know
take
what I
a
mean?
couple ibuprofen, and it's like I did hard drugs.
Yes,
I'm just I feel amazing.
I don't know. Surely I'm not the only person, but when I was younger, like I feel like medicine just didn't work on me. Like I don't know, it was just so weird. I don't know. Maybe you just because you think you're so big and bad when you're young. I don't know, but I definitely like you become way more in tune with yourself like as you get older. Especially like having a kid too is just like doubled it almost.
I can definitely tell, especially with my voice.
Yeah,
Like it's crazy. The food I eat, how tight I am, like in like my upper back and my neck and stuff. Like
Dude, if I eat a spicy Slim Jim in the van before a show, like if it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we pull at a gas station and I eat a spicy Slim Jim that afternoon, that night is gonna be like the worst night on stage for me. I've put that 2 together. I can't eat any more spicy fucking like sausage or like beef jerky before a show, just because like I don't know what it is, and like it used to not be like that. I used to just go eat a whole meal before the show. Now I'm just like, dude, if I eat like an hour before show, like I'm just like I feel I don't know. You want to go lay on a couch.
Yeah.
It's probably because of what I'm eating too. But I mean, it's just like, you know, as you get older, you start to be like, oh, I can't do that. I can't go eat a chicken parm and then go play a show.
That's totally another prima donna thing that I worry about, because unless you sing professionally and you're having, like you're singing 3 or 4 nights in a row, and I sing pretty hard too, and then I've already got some like kind of things with my vocal cords, so it's like, and then we're talking about like 2 little rubber bands that just vibrate together.
Yeah,
you know, this isn't about, because I've had gigs where it's like I can't sing, like I cannot sing, I'm sick or whatever, I can't sing, and people are like, man, you just gotta tough it out, and I'm like, this isn't about being tough.
Yeah,
like the thing's not working, like it's not rubbing together to make the noise. Like there's no being tough about it.
Yeah.
They're just really delicate little things, and some people's are more delicate.
People
than
that
others.
aren't vocalists really don't understand that.
No,
because they don't have to rely on their voice. Like this is my wife totally understands it. I'm not saying this, but like last week she was hoarse all last week. If I was hoarse all last week,
luxury. Yeah.
Maybe I don't make any money over the weekend, you know, because I gotta reschedule shows, and so I don't get paid that weekend. So now I gotta wait another 3 months before we can play those shows again, so I can get paid.
And comedians talk about bombing on stage, being a musician and bombing, like where you sound bad.
Yeah,
like that. I don't know
but
if there's a worse.
I do listen to a lot of comedian podcasts. I do give it to comedians. There's no way I could get on stage without a guitar and a band behind me, and just start talking. I'm a huge Kill Tony fan. I've been. I had a buddy that was marketing for Deep Eddy Vodka, and Deep Eddy sponsored Kill Tony for like a 6-week or 8-week stint or whatever.
Oh, dang.
And so they had a table, so we would go to Kill Tony. This is before they moved to the mothership. This was when they were at the Vulcan Gas Company. But dude, there's no way. Drew Nickens, he's on Kill Tony. He like lived in College Station. He's come out to shows. He came out to our show recently in Austin. I was telling him, I was like, dude, there's no way I could get on stage. He was like, dude, do you have a minute? You should sign up for Kill Tony. I was like, absolutely not, dude. I would just bank on like, I play guitar during the interview and then like try to play a song.
Yeah, then try to play.
Yeah.
Oh, but that would be fun. You would crush.
Well, I mean, people, I don't know, but it
actually might be funnier. What an interesting way of actually getting a lot of
starting
exposure.
a career.
It's acting like
bombing on Kill Tony.
Yeah, but acting like you're a comedian, and then it's like you bomb, obviously.
Yeah,
and then they get you to. Well, you have any special talents?
Because I suck at talking
play.
on stage. In between songs, I'm the worst at it.
Why do you think that you're not? It's not like you're not a sociable, good. Well, I
don't know.
Like an idiot. A good talking guy.
I don't know, man. I just feel like because there's been times where I'll say things during a live show that I think is funny, and then there's no reaction from the crowd. So that is already input in my brain where I'm just like, dude, if I was a comedian and I did that, that's a fucking bomb.
Well, why don't you think you talk
funny
more
shit? Yeah, you're right.
During your shows though, like why don't you think you talk more?
I do. I just say, I'll be like, thanks for coming out tonight. I know this is a busy time of the year and everyone's got shit to do, but appreciate you want to spend your Friday night with us. Like that's, and that makes people clap. But when then like when I think I'm saying something funny, no one. It's like the mic is off.
Yeah,
it's like no one here. It's like no one heard me. I look around at my band; they're all just looking down at their pedal board.
Oh no!
And I'm just like, okay, fuck y'all.
Oh no! I tell my guys they have to laugh at me.
Make me seem good.
Dude, there's some old school guys in the Texas scene. I won't say any names, but apparently they would make everyone quarter towards them, right? Which I guess is show business. But they wanted to make sure
the band?
like everybody had to be kind of facing them on the band, and then nobody could be like taller than them. Because he was a pretty big guy, so nobody could be taller than him. They would have to they wouldn't let them light up the band around them. Like there was some pretty
I don't even have a lighting yet, so I'm not worried.
You're telling me.
I'm not worried about that.
We're trying to play songs. Like,
Yeah.
that's like not pretty low on my thing. But so I wouldn't put it past them that they were like, if I tell a joke,
you need to laugh.
I'm telling you right now, you need to laugh. And I mean, bust your gut laughing.
And if you're not laughing hard enough, we're gonna talk about it at the end of the show.
That's $5.
We're gonna talk about it.
That's $5.
Yeah, it's like if you're not crying hard enough if the North Korean president dies, they send you to the North Korean camp. Yeah, it's a dictatorship in some of those camps for sure.
Yeah, the talking thing. Where
Yeah, I don't know. I've just never been. That's why I don't do a lot of videos on social media because I feel like I look stupid.
Oh, stand up. But
yeah.
So do you think you could do stand up or you couldn't?
No, I mean, if I had someone write the material, I'm not. I don't know. I'm not that. It's hard enough for me to write songs, so I couldn't think about writing jokes right
Dude,
now.
I try to, because I've been writing down I want to do it. Like, I want to try.
Yeah,
Not kill Tony necessarily.
You know who I think should be a comedian? John Bauman.
I've never met him. We've only texted.
John Bauman is the funniest fucking guy in the world.
Really?
Man. He is so funny. And he's got like the perfect, like he's a comedian.
Yeah. Yes. Some people do have it. Some people are really funny. Like, they can come up with like really funny jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
But the way they present them just doesn't. It's the performance element of it.
Yeah.
I want to do it. I don't think I'm particularly funny or anything. I want to do it from like it scares me.
Same.
You know?
So you have the balls to go do it because it scares you. I don't have the balls to do it because I'm just like I don't want to face the consequences.
Shoot, I still haven't done it. Like, I'll write stuff down, and then when I'm driving, I'll try to think about like, okay, you are walking on stage right now. Like, what's the first thing that you say when you get up there? How do you hold the mic? Like, what do you do? Who do you look at? How do you look at people?
Yeah.
What's the first thing you say? Because it's all already happening. The second you get up there and you just even make eye contact with anybody, and then what are they thinking about you? You know, because that can be part of your joke too, like taking away some of their.
Yeah, I love when a comedian goes on and they're just like, so I look like and then they just all out in front of the audience. The audience, you know, they're vulnerable right there. So from that moment on, they've got the audience because they're already on their side.
Yes,
because they just said the thing that the audience is thinking. Boom, put it out in the world. Now we can
self-deprecating.
Now we can go down the road, and now people are warmed up.
I do a little bit of that in my live show because there's some stuff, dude. Some of my closest friends, they know, like going out to bars and stuff with me. It's been like my whole life. If I go out, somebody's gonna try to fight me. Like, it doesn't matter when I was 18.
Why?
20, dude. It sounds like BS until we go.
Because you're not a fight. I mean, you don't strike me as the type of person to start fights.
Well, when I was younger, I would poke at people, maybe a little bit more. But generally speaking, now I've just gotten over it. Like, I'm like, it's fine. Like, I want everybody. I just want to hang. Like, I want to have a good time and like just smile and have fun.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I kind of probably went into it a little bit more. Like, I know somebody's gonna mess with me, but whatever. I don't know what it is or why, but like. I've been going out to Nashville for the last year, like once a month, every time I go. Like, every time I've been to Red Door Saloon, like, I go out in the patio and like somebody tries to fight me. Just walks up, says like, I just can't, you and your face. And then I'm like, what's the problem? They're like, I just want to punch you. And I'm just like, all right, well. Mike is kind of giggling. He's been around it. It sounds like a lie. It's insane. So in that context, like,
what is it about you think that makes?
I don't know. I have a really punchable face, maybe.
Not to me. I've never thought that about you.
Thank you, Kody.
That's the strangest. That's out of left field for me.
Yeah, but it's fascinating. So in my live show, I will sense at times, like, I'll see the guy. You know, you can see people
who would fight you 100%. If you weren't on stage.
100%.
So what do you do?
I usually try to do the thing where I take, because there's been similar things where people will, like, I dress a little different, so that kind of bugs people. Cowboy hats also, just generally speaking, like, get people kind of fired up sometimes.
Not here.
I know that. So last time I was in Nashville, there was a guy that came out to me on the patio, and he just walked up to me and he goes, this is a direct quote. So he goes, "You in that fucking hat." And I go,
"You in that fucking hat." You don't know this guy at all.
Don't know him. and I just I kind of giggled. And
That is funny.
Yeah, it is a little bit funny. And I go, yeah, man, I don't know. It's just the thing. And he was just like, I just want to hit you. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. Some people have said that, but whatever.
Dude, you need security with
and
you.
he just kept like kind of chirping at me, just kept going on. He was like, and I go, what do you think it is? You really think it's the hat? Like what? So I like start to like try to unpack it. Like, do you think it's the hat or do you think it's something else? Like, let's really get down to the bottom. He's like, it's just the jacket, the hat. Like, I just don't like you. And I was like, so he just kept poking at me.
Man.
And then finally I told him, I go, man, I was like, where are you from? And he was from like Boston or something. I go, you know, if you came in like around some of my buddies and stuff, we'd be really cool with you. Like, we'd treat you like anybody else.
Yeah.
We'd have a good time. And that really like threw him off. I was like, we can be friends like right now. I'm totally cool with it. Or we can go down this road. And
what a strange,
yeah,
the
so,
balls some people have.
So I will like, I'll try to like maybe address some things that might bug people initially. I'm like, I know you guys see me like wearing tennis shoes. Where I come from, you know, being Cowboys a little bit more about.
I'm wearing Nike tennis shoes right
yeah,
now.
exactly. I'm like, it's a little more about like what's on the inside and what you actually do for a living than what you're just wearing. So,
But also down here, like the rodeo fashion, and this is just an outsider looking in because I've been to high school rodeos, I've been around it. I mean, it's very much like, punchy. Kids have been riding horses and wearing Vans down here since the early 2000s. I mean, that's nothing, you know. And like when I look at your cowboy hat, I don't wear cowboy hats, but I know what a real one's supposed to look like. Yeah. And so, like, when I see someone outside of Texas that has a hat and it doesn't look like that, you know, it doesn't have that shape, I'm just like, dude, these people just don't know. They just don't get it.
Well, then the irony...
Because when you see a hat shaped like that, the person wearing that hat 9 times out of 10 it grew up wearing hats that look like that. Typically. I mean, that's just my perspective. Yeah. Like, because like, you don't wear hats shaped like that unless you've been around.
Sure.
Unless you've been involved in the scene or grew up around, you know, your dad and his brother wearing hats like that. Yeah. You know, that's culture right there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, someone from Boston's not, you know, why the fuck do y'all turn y'all's Harbor green? Like that yeah, I don't know.
Dude, that should have been my response.
It's like y'all aren't even Irish. Like what are you doing?
Maybe you need to go out with me. You can like be my emotional support animal.
I'll come, dude. I'm down, dude. I'm down.
Yeah, so the comedy thing I think is a lot about taking away some. That's kind of like the 8 Mile Eminem thing. Like, tell me something about me that I don't already know. Yeah, go for it. Try to find it. You know, I heard a comedian the other day. It might be the guy you're kind of talking about, but he crushed it. He did a minute, and he walked up. And his face. He wasn't particularly bad looking, but he looked like Beavis and Butthead. and he was like, man, I know you guys are just sitting here like wondering, like, how does somebody look exactly like Beavis but also exactly like Butthead? Yeah, and they just died.
Yeah, the crowd ate it up. So from then on, they're on your side. Yeah, you could say anything and they're probably gonna laugh just because they're like, okay, this guy gets it. Yeah, this guy is thinking the exact same shit we're all thinking. Yeah, I'm a huge comedy fan, but yeah, I just don't have the balls to get up there and do it, I don't think.
Yeah, when I really sit there and think about what is the first thing I'm going to say and do, I just collapse. Mentally, I just fall apart.
Because there's so many things you can say or do.
I'll even say it. I'll even start and just, like I do, even right now, like I can't even, if I were to walk up there and I would just be like, oh God, like I don't know what I would do, dude. I would have to have some sort of like, I don't know. It's like developing a character in a way. You would have to, like, okay.
Because me and you, I mean, we both know when you walk on stage, go play music, yes, but you're putting on a little bit of like this invisible shield of just like, I've got to play these songs. You know, this is part of the show. This is a show we're putting on. You know, yes, I'm very much Jarrod Morris. I'm very much Kody West, but there's a little bit of a thing. There's a little bit of a veil here that I have to like kind of get into, so like I can not worry about what those people over there are talking about, maybe sit at the table, because I need to sit here and focus on playing this song.
Sure.
So there's a little bit of like that disconnect of like,
I think it's like a focus.
Yeah, I can't engage really. I mean, I can wave, I can wink, I can hi, I can engage a little bit, but I can't be engaging as Kody West while I'm on stage performing.
I know what you're saying. I definitely know what you're saying, because there's like a focus sort of. It's like going into like game time mode.
Yeah. And then I'll catch myself in the middle of the song of just like, it's like driving and it's like, I don't remember those last 3 stoplights. And then I'll be halfway through a song. It's just like, did I sing everything right?
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it happens all the time.
It does. But I guess I never really.
Dude, there'll be times where I'll start the intro of the song and I'll be in my head going, what's the first word? 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 Boom. Then it comes as soon as you get to the mic.
But you're freaking out going to the mic.
Out, dude, because you're kind of looking around. You're just going like, God, I wish someone would just hold up a card with the lyrics on it right
dude,
now.
I'll ask.
My guys don't know the lyrics.
No, I'll ask like people.
Oh.
I'll be like, hey, what's the first? They kind of like it. They're like,
yeah. Yeah, no, for acoustic stuff, like, people, I have so much fun playing acoustic shows.
But I've had that where it's like, what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? When I like, and I mean, right.
Yes.
Right when you touch the mic.
Yes. I don't know.
I've also had it where I don't remember.
Oh, a lot. Sometimes I'll just sing the same verse. I'll sing the first verse twice. Happens all the time on songs, that it's just like, how am I forgetting the words right now?
Crazy. There are certain ones though I consistently have a harder.
Yes.
Right?
There's a song that I didn't play for probably 2 or 3 years. Sorry, because I just had so much issue with it because I bombed. I was doing a acoustic set at Steamboat, and there's probably 200 people in this room. It's quiet as a mouse, and I'm up there playing, and I'm playing this song, and I just go blank, dude. And I'm just like, oh, this is the worst ever, because like, I'm sure I made it through. I'm sure like. You know what I mean? To us, it's the worst ever, but I'm sure someone didn't notice. I'm sure. And I'm just like, dude, I'm not doing this song anymore. I can't do this song.
How bad of a blank are we talking?
Dude, I've had some bad ones.
Well, that one specifically.
That one specifically, I would just forget, like, I would just like mix up the verses, and I would sing the first half of, I would sing like the last half of the first verse on the second verse, and I would switch it all around. One time, we played White Oak Music Hall in Houston, and inside, not outside, but inside, and we were opening with a song, Melody, and we played the entire song instrumental. Because
the opening song.
The verse song, yeah.
Oh.
The opening song instrumental. It's experience like that that I'm talking about, where it's just like kids that go straight to like this stardom and like these big shows. It's just like, what are you gonna do in front of fucking thousands of people when that happens? Fortunately I got to experience that in front of hundreds of people, and so I was able to like kind of recover. But it's just like having that experience, you can't pay for that.
Yeah, because you still have 2 hours.
Yeah,
that was the first one.
That was the first one.
How do you not spiral out of control
for the next song? How do you keep your head on it? It's just like, okay, that's over with. Oh my god, dude, that was the worst. That was terrible. Because like my guitar player had family out. Oh, so it's just like you have like band member families, and they're just like, and I'm like I'm thinking they probably just thought it was just like a jam song or something.
Dude, that's an interesting one. I've never really heard anybody talk about was, as kind of the front guy, the leader of the thing, you want your band members to like really be into it. We deal with, when you're first starting out, you deal with a lot of the whatever, you're like at a family reunion where it's like, so are you still doing the little music thing, or
sure,
which I get it, like, because it's an outlandish thing to do, and most people fail, so people kind of poke at you a little bit until you have something going on. Then
you playing with Justin Timberlake tomorrow, or what?
Yeah. Until you have something going on, then they're like, man, you're crushing it, But like 5 years prior to that, they were kind of making fun of you a little bit.
Yeah.
But we deal with that. But dude, band members, like, think about them. Like when they go to the family reunion and they've just been playing with like different people, and then the family comes out, and like some of the people they have to play with, they might not be into their music that much.
Yeah.
And they're not that good, but they're like trying to pay the bills. And so they have like a different level of embarrassment. And so it's huge for them, like for their family members to come out and and they tell him like, hey, this guy's like really good. I really like that you're with him. Like you guys crushed. And for band members, that's like a huge thing.
Yeah.
And so if they have family, I get a little kind of nervous when they have family there because I want so badly to be like,
it's
like, they picked me like I was a good one for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like Meet the Teacher night.
Yeah, it's totally Meet the Teacher night.
It's but yeah, it's just I try to, but I love meeting. I've never, all my band's family, they're all great. So like I've never had a bad interaction with them. You know, I feel like I'm pretty good when I meet family or when I meet parents.
Well, I want to make them proud.
Yeah, I want to like he's taken care of. Like we're having a great time. Like we're all good. Like but.
So I was just referencing that probably did make you feel horrible.
Yeah, that first song. But you
can Meet the Teacher night. You showed up drunk.
Yeah,
you were the drunk teacher.
I just smoked a big old spoon of heroin right before this, and I'm just dude. There was a thing on Netflix about like or it could have been on YouTube. It was like functioning heroin addicts.
How is that a thing?
People do it. I mean, I don't recommend it.
You want to try?
No. I've never done heroin, but like there are people that just, people just smoke heroin.
That's insane.
And then just go to work.
There
was a guy. I watched a documentary on this guy.
That doesn't last. I mean, come on. That lasts like a month or two.
I think he did it for like 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Anyways,
that's insane. Is this just on Netflix?
I shouldn't have brought it up. Yeah. Yeah, it was on one of the many streaming platforms.
See, you're really funny. So we got to figure out how to, like, I'm trying to think about.
You think I'm funny?
Yeah, you're really funny. And so it's like, but in like live stand-up comedy, it's like, how do you get?
That's a whole other thing.
I know, but there's a spark of that, and then it's like, how do you get?
But like
back?
my favorite kind of comedy is like that super just like dry and kind of vulgar stuff.
Okay.
Brian Holtzman. Do you know have you ever heard of Brian Holtzman? Brian Holtzman is this like 60-year-old man.
Okay.
Who started? I don't know where he's from, but he was in L.A. for a long time, and then when the whole comedy scene kind of moved to Austin, he moved. I think he lives in Texas now, but he's this old guy who would just get on stage and just go, "You know what I think about family? Fuck family."
Okay, so it's just extreme.
Oh, just the most, and the crowds hate him. But I love, all the comedians love that because they're just like, this is the guy fucking sending it. He is going for it. He is saying the absolute like worst stuff possible. These people hate it, and he is still just screaming at their faces the most absurd things.
Well, it's probably more about they love that he's just so confident in who he is. Yeah.
Like, I hear them say like he's your favorite. He's your favorite comedian's favorite comedian.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like our Jack Ingham or our Ray Wiley Hubbard. It's like those are our art. Anything those guys would do is cool because we just respect the shit out of them.
Dude, there's a big part of me right now with comedy that I like super clean stuff.
Because it's tough. Clean's harder.
The shock.
Clean is harder.
Yeah, the vulgar shock factor thing. It's like I've kind of heard
that can
all
be
of it.
easy because you can just say bad stuff.
I'm just like I'm kind of over it. It's like, oh wow, another freaking wiener joke.
Yeah, another jack off joke.
Yeah, it's like
about some kid jacking off,
but like
with a VPN or something.
The joke about like maybe a little bit of truth, just a life observation, and you just kind of find a way of saying it differently that's just so funny.
Those are the good ones.
It's super clean.
One of my favorite clean jokes was, how to, if you want to be alone in America, you know how to do that? Just take the stairs. That was one of my favorite clean jokes, dude, because it's just observations like that and things like that and I feel like some of those guys could be good songwriters.
Very much so.
Because you have to have some sort of perspective.
That's a popular song. That's kind of like a Casey Musgraves-esque style.
Yeah.
Right? Like observational little.
You want to be alone? Take the stairs.
Yeah, quirky sort of.
Yeah.
I would agree. I think the spark of creation and how they work it out is very similar to songwriting. The thing that I wish songwriting had more of, and it's so heavily ingrained in comedy, is that like you can't develop stand-up comedy without an audience.
Correct.
Right? Like you can write good jokes and everything, but you don't know if it works until you perform it in front of a live audience.
That's so true.
And we don't apply that same standard to songwriting.
You're right.
And I get that.
You're right.
And I don't know why. And I think, and I wish it actually wasn't this way. I think songwriters and music creators are too sensitive. And comedy, because it's just jokes, man. And it's like if you get your feelings hurt, there's always a tinge of like, it's just a joke. Take it easy. But in music, like we are just like so dramatic. And like if somebody just said, you suck, that song sucks. It's like, but this is my art. Yeah. It's like, you can't say that. It's like, yeah, they can. Yeah. Or like, what if it's just halfway a joke? Like, I like the song, but you sing, you're not a good singer. Like, you know, we just couldn't take that kind of criticism. Yeah. Think about a Kill Tony type.
Because you're so vulnerable, I think, in songwriting. And I mean, you're vulnerable too doing comedy, but
exactly.
It is, yeah, you're right. Why isn't that applied to music too?
I think it should be.
It's just a song.
Oh man, I think one of the healthiest.
Just a joke. It's just a song.
It's just a song. Like nobody's gonna die or live.
No,
it's a song. It's words with a melody.
Take it easy. You're right.
I think to a degree we take it a little too serious. To a degree, I'm serious about it, but I don't know. And I'm saying that from like, would I want to get up there with 3 judges and then have them just eviscerate me after I perform a song for them?
No, but we've all done a songwriter competition.
Yeah, but they don't in real time just destroy you.
Yeah, they're not all Simon Cowells.
Yeah, and I know, but there's a part of it that would be healthy. Like actually hear the. Like bomb, like have the audience not clap. Like I don't want a pity clap.
Well, that's why I love Kill Tony, because I mean those audience. I mean when someone goes up there and fucking bombs, Tony's quick to be like, that didn't go good, did it?
So one of the best things for me, and it wasn't out of any sort of like virtuous nature. It was out of a family member just being a jerk, you know. So it's like they weren't doing it because they thought it was good for me. They were like actually trying to be mean, but it ended up being good for me. Was the idea of like. Family get together, goad me into playing. Like, oh, come on, play it. And then I get halfway through a song and they just like shut me down. And they're like, that sucks. That's terrible. Don't ever do that again.
You start hearing people
and
talking.
And it's just like, oh, you know, or like they get me to play a song that I wrote and then just stop me halfway through it and be like, that's not good. And it's just like, wow. But here's the thing. It wasn't.
A family member did this?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, a couple. But look, they weren't good songs. Okay. And I didn't perform it good. And so it was like, okay. But here's the thing. When I played them something that was good, I got to play it all the way through. And they sat there and listened. Okay. And then they got done and they went, everything in me wants to tell you you suck. That would make me happier. But that was actually really good.
That was good.
And so it wasn't a pity clap at all. Because you know they would just destroy me if they didn't.
Well, at least they were being honest with you.
I know, but they weren't doing it in like a virtuous way.
Right. So that's where it kind of stings still.
For sure.
Still kind of.
But yeah, there was a takeaway. And it was like, oh, okay, I need to get better. And there's a part of that. You know, like you show a song to your parents or something, like, that's so good. Okay, confidence is important. Got it. But there's a part of it, too, that you need some, like a reality check.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because you put some words together with a melody doesn't mean it's good.
No, it does not.
And audiences are typically really nice.
Sometimes you still put those on an album. Sometimes they'll still end up on an album as, like, filler. But sometimes those filler songs end up being someone's fucking...
I know.
Someone's jam. I mean, I'm probably a fan of some of my artists' filler songs. Mm-hmm. I mean,
that's a lot of them.
And I hate to call them filler songs. I'm not meaning to downgrade any artist or whatever. But I mean, every album has a couple of songs that maybe could have been iffy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, is this going to make the project? But if this doesn't make the project, this isn't going to be 10 songs or 12 songs. So. Maybe we just, keep them on there. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's still all just opinion. I guess that's the thing. It's like if somebody tells you suck, well, I mean, you suck to them. Yeah. That's 100% accurate.
Yeah, the dude, that's just your opinion, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they absolutely do not like you. But some other people might.
Sure.
So that is where it's subjective.
Yeah.
Is this joke funny? Well, not to them. It's 100% not funny to them. They just told you they didn't think it was funny.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not funny. It's just not funny to them. That's art, you know. That's the tough part about it. It's just like totally subjective, and that's why I don't think we should take it so serious because it's subjective.
Yeah. The only part that it's just like it's just like the part that gets to me is about like, you know, trying to take it serious is just like knowing that, like, you know, when it comes to a band, it's just you got guys that like kind of depend on, like, you know, at the end of the day, you know, my guy's probably thinking like, well, I hope he's taking this a little more serious because you know, this is how we're also surviving. This is how we're playing. So that's also like when I write a song, like sometimes those thoughts will creep into my head of just like,
this better be good.
This better be good because like if it's not, like, fuck.
Yeah.
So like, and I'm like, I mean,
well, but trying.
I'm
your
sure
best.
I'm sure it's like that on every level. I mean, but even just like me, like I think about that kind of shit. I'm just like, you know, yeah, we don't play sold out shows every show. But I mean, I could imagine, like if you're a band that has a lot of success, there's even more weight to when you sit down and write a song. So like you were saying earlier, like, yeah, you do kind of at the beginning of the podcast, we're like, you know, you do kind of compare yourself to like your previous works and like your other stuff. You do think about that, and it's just like, well, what was I doing so different then? What was I doing? How was I so different when I was 18 or 19 than when I'm 28 or 29? Yeah. There's 10-year difference, but how was I able to do that? Was it because I didn't have, you know, a lot of stuff going on in my personal life and I was just so consumed with just, you know, being Kody West and playing shows and doing stuff like that? There's so much like, there's so much back and forth, I guess, of just like, is this good enough? Is this not? Am I going to please everyone? I don't know. At the end of the day, you just can't think of really, I don't know. You can't overthink it. You can't overthink it. But
yeah, that's the part. You can try your best.
Yeah.
But overthinking it in a way is taking it a little too serious. You know, I mean, there's like a dose of no one's going to die if I write a bad song.
Right.
You know, even I cringe a little bit when people say like a great song can change the world, and I'm like, dude, like
for that person that it changed the world for, but
it changed their feelings,
but not for the guy that's, you know, not for the guy that's working behind a gas register or a gas station, you know, clerk
grinding.
Yeah, you're not changing the world for him.
No, like not the person that has some like catastrophic illness that they're going to die in 5 years and they're suffering. At the same time, like feelings matter and emotions matter, and like giving somebody a reprieve from a bad time in life or like making them think about a different perspective is healthy.
What was that word you just said? Reprieve?
Reprieve.
Reprieve?
A brief reprieve.
Okay. I like it.
Reprieve means like a sort of a break.
Okay.
Right? I think. It's my SAT word for the day.
I was just about to say, dude, that's a SAT word.
You
for
think
sure.
so? Is that a big word?
It's not one I hear weekly.
Yeah. Gosh, that's probably why people want to hit me right there.
No, no, dude, I love it. I love it.
But song's not going to change the world, and fancy words aren't going to change the world. But they will make people think differently about certain things.
Yes, they do. And like, but I mean, a song could change the world for one person, but it doesn't for the other because that person, you know, it's just so like, yeah. At the end of the day, it's so subjective.
But there's people winning the Nobel Prize and doing all sorts of clinical research and like really super, super important stuff, moving the needle on some really big issues.
Well, I'm not going to get into the Nobel Prize, but
oh yeah, a little bit of conspiracy, huh? On the old Nobel.
Well, I mean, there is some.
There's some funny.
There's some literature about it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. Well, before we go too far into the conspiracies, do you have music done now? Are you about to put stuff out?
I've got some stuff recorded. I think our loose plan, I hate saying this on a podcast because people are going to hear this, but I think our loose plan is like probably releasing some stuff in March.
Cool.
I think we're gonna be playing some shows with a friend of ours. So we're gonna release some music just to kind of coincide with that. I got a manager, so I'm gonna actually like have strategy in place for when releasing music rather than just record stuff and then all right, let's pick a Friday. So like actually I'm gonna have like for the first time, and that's and I could have I've never had a real manager. I had a manager from like 2019 to 2020. COVID hit, and I just couldn't afford to keep, paying people. I was not making money, so any money I can make, it was tough to shell that, percentage out to. So, wasn't doing that at the time.
Well, your success, I mean, it speaks volume to how much your music resonates with people, because you don't do a lot on social media. Like we were talking about that earlier. That's not something you like.
Which I'm about to change.
Sure.
Just because, like, that can only, it's not going to hinder me in any way. If I'm if I'm more prevalent on social media, if I just post a video of me playing a cover song or one of my songs or stuff like that, because I love it when I see when I see an artist that I like Andy Hull from Manchester Orchestra. When I see him do something, like,
you're in it, you love it.
Yeah. So like, why can't I do that for my fans?
I agree.
So like, then I have those thoughts of like, well, why can't I sit here and record myself playing a video and put it up? Maybe someone will think it was cool.
Yeah.
That
comes from a really great place though, because you don't think you're that cool. That's essentially where it's coming from.
No, I've never thought I was cool.
Yeah,
dude.
that's awesome.
No,
so don't ever lose that.
Furthest thing from that.
But some people do think you're super, super cool, and like sharing your stuff with them is awesome. My point was, it speaks volumes to how much your music resonates with people, because like you didn't have any traditional like manager, you didn't like focus heavily on social media.
It was just about the songs.
And like your music just ripped with people, and so it's like, shoot.
Well, and that's the manager we just got on with. He was just like, dude, I'm shocked, and surprised at like what you've been able to accomplish by yourself. All I've had is a booking agent. So like the fact that we've been able to sustain, going on almost 6, 7, 8 years of playing music. But so he was like, so now that we're involved, now what can we do for you? I mean, how can so now I'm actually gonna have strategy behind releasing music.
Sick.
When are other people releasing music? Let's not release on the day that someone else is releasing music. That might,
Christmas Day.
Yeah. I mean, so like, I'm actually just gonna have like people like looking into like, how can we capitalize, with every release? How can we make the most, gain out of it? How can we get the most people involved? How can we campaign this for X amount of weeks before it comes out? Which is a big thing now. It's about teasing songs before they even come out. And I know like some labels, they'll make an artist tease a song, and if it doesn't get enough likes or repost or whatever, they're not releasing that song.
I know.
So then, people just, they're just left forever with that 20-second or 30-second clip of whatever song. But I mean, I'm just actually just gonna start promoting myself more. Yeah. And I think it's just especially in today's world. I mean, we kind of see that like with ticket sales. It's just like how can I make all the people that follow me on my socials? How do I make sure they all know that I'm playing a show?
Yeah. How do you
without being a digital marquee? Because I don't want every post being about, hey, we're playing at such and such bar, come out. Hey, and then next week I have 2 more of those same posts.
I know.
I hate that. But every venue is asking, can you make a video? Can you make a video? Can they, can they do something? Can they push more? It's just like, well, then I've got to do that for every gig we play, and we play 115 gigs a year.
Yeah, and the venues aren't focusing on it.
No.
And like I'll do it where they'll be like, well, we need to do some promo for it. And so I'll do like a video that I know will do well. It's authentic. It's real. Like I'm shoeing a horse or something I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is, and I send it to them, and then they'll just do like their standard little whatever concert poster post that gets 2 likes. And I'm like, guys, I sent you the real thing.
Yeah.
So it's like whoever's running their stuff. And I get it. It's hard. I understand it's hard to run social media and how to do it.
Yeah.
And how to make videos and stuff. But I guess it's interesting that some of the venues aren't as interested. Like they think it's like solely on us. It's partially.
Or
on
we'll
us.
get a request from a venue. Can they post about us playing? And you go to their page, and there's nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. It's like, what are y'all doing? What are y'all telling people that we're coming? What do you mean? Like, yes, we can tell our fans, but then, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, it goes both ways.
It does.
There are so many venues, but the venues that ask us to do that are venues that they're new, or they just don't know, or it's just some guy who just has a lot of money, and he's just like, well, why isn't this working? Well, they need to do something. They need to do this and this. And it's just like, well, dude. First of all, you don't even have a bathroom back here. All right, so can we just go back to square one, dude? Like, let's start over. But
shots fired,
dude.
That's gonna be the one clip we clip.
That's fine. That's fine. Let them hear it. Let them hear it.
I love it, dude. I'm proving all about it. Well, I'm glad we got to do this, man. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. I haven't really gotten to sit down, and we had breakfast like one time accidentally.
Yeah.
We chit-chatted a little bit.
Have me out anytime, man.
Yeah.
And let's write.
Yeah, we need to write.
I'm definitely down.
We had Colby on here, and we had talked about going down there maybe to Colby's or something and writing down there.
He lives in Tyler, yeah.
Maybe we should all get together.
I would love it.
Apparently, I guess he's buddies with Paul Cawthon.
Colby Cooper?
Yeah.
It probably. I mean, East Texas.
Yeah.
A lot of those East Texas guys are very close knit.
And I've just I don't know, in the last like year or so, I've gotten like super into Paul Cawthon.
I love Paul Cawthon,
Dude.
I will admit, when he first came out, I was like, the voice.
I know.
I thought the voice was a shtick.
I know.
I thought it was I thought it was a thing until I saw him. We opened for him live at Peacemaker. It was us, Paul Cawthon, and Co Wetzel. I saw Paul Cawthon go out there and put on the best show I have ever seen live, bro. I still think about that. And dude, he had this like
his band,
this gospel keys player who is murdering. I mean, just like no beyond levels of any comprehension in the crowd. No one in the crowd could comprehend things that were happening on that stage, and it's just shit that me and you would notice or see.
Yep,
dude. I'm standing there. I look like even Co's right behind me. Co's like just watching. It's just like, dude, this is fucking sick. Yes, Paul Cawthon is the man.
We did a private event with him and opened for him, and I just never had heard a rhythm section. Like, dude, it like changed because I was never like a big rocker type. Like, I just wasn't really into it. I was kind of like had that folky thing is what I really liked, and like when I saw his live. Because typically all I had seen is smaller bands trying to rock, and it was just like too much, and it was just like a lot, Yeah. But it was like tight and just grooved so hard. I was like, holy. So there's some sort of little freaking pixie dust he sprinkles on a band that just makes them groove. Like,
he knows how to pick the right guys.
Dude, I don't know. So it was so special. So anyways, we all need to freaking try to get together.
Yeah.
I think that'd be sick.
Absolutely.
If not with him, then for sure with Colby.
Yeah. Dude, Colby's the man. Yeah. We did those acoustic shows last week or 2 weeks ago with him, and him and his camp. I mean, everyone that he's hired, everyone that works for him, top notch. They're awesome. Yeah. I can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, let's do it, dude.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Let's write some songs.
I'm in. I'm for sure in. Cool. Not just saying that. I mean, when we get off camera, I'm gonna be like, yeah, hey, dude, I'm not doing it.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
I'm not. But no, I'm fucking about it, dude.
Yeah.
I've got some time. Like, we don't have a show until like January 23rd.
Okay.
So I've got a little over a month off. Like, I'm chilling.
All right.
I'm chilling.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Me too. I'm just working on finishing some music. I got music coming out in 2025. So.
Cool. Me too.
Yeah.
2025 is gonna be a cool year.
That's why I just do the blanket statement 2025.
Yeah. Yeah. Not March. 2025.
There we go. That's where we go out. Adios, amigos.
Sing